Harrison Graham and Chase Sr. here on day 3 of 2021 NBA free agency, here to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers. Subscribe to our Lakers channel if you haven't already, youtube.com/LakersTV, or if you're already on that channel, hit that big red button and subscribe. Chase, we're going to kind of cycle back through what this team has done so far, kind of a free agency tracker, a look at all of the moves the Lakers have made. It started with some minor moves led by Trevor Ariza, Wayne Ellington, and Dwight Howard.
Assistant general manager LeBron James and his general manager and his boss Rob Pelinka have been incredibly busy. And I think LeBron has had a lot of intel and a lot of say with some of these moves because it reeks of some LeBron James-like moves. But let me be honest and let me be real here. Absolutely love what the Lakers have done because after trading for Russell Westbrook, I had so many questions about that roster because they were so bereft of shooters. There really weren't consistent knockdown shooters to put around LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook. And that's what you need on that team and that roster, but also nowadays in the NBA. So shout out to the Lakers for just killing it because I think Trevor Ariza as a 3-and-D guy coming back home to LA is a good signing worth little to no money. Same can be said for Wayne Ellington, who I still think is a sniper. Dwight Howard was great for the Lakers 2 years ago,
excellent.
Coming off the bench as a big. And I think in some bulkier lineups that Frank Vogel is going to trot out there, Dwight Howard is going to give you solid minutes. I actually think he could put together some starts as well, and he's a good culture fit. And Kent Bazemore, I think he's going to be fighting for a roster spot. He can play a little defense. He can give you some energy. He can also stretch the floor too. The first 4 moves that they made here, absolutely love them. And here's the thing, they were only getting started, Harrison.
What does LeBron like? He likes veterans that have been there and done that. Ariza, Dwight, Ellington, they've been around for a while. Carmelo, Anthony, who will spend more time on. And he likes shooters. Malik Monk, Ariza. You get a guy like Kendrick Nunn who can shoot the basketball. Horton-Tucker's a young player that LeBron has learned to trust. He's not here to groom rookies at this point.
No.
He's here to
win a title this year.
Guys that can win right away. And these are all win-now moves. Carmelo Anthony, say what you want, his career was dead. The guy averaged 13.5 points last year, and he has forced himself into becoming a good three-point shooter. That's what LeBron needs, guys who can space the floor and shoot the basketball.
And the Lakers have been at the subject of criticism from so many people out there and some people in the live chat right now saying the Lakers are so injury-prone. The Lakers are so old.
That's why you got a bunch of
They might
depth.
as well practice at the nursing home. Here's the thing, though. Yes, Carmelo, Wayne Ellington, Trevor Ariza, as well as Dwight Howard, they skew older. There's no doubt about that. And I did have some concerns about this Lakers roster being one of the oldest in the history of the NBA. But they balanced those signings out with bringing in some young guys who surprisingly were willing to take a lot less money with the Lakers than other teams. That includes Malik Monk, who last year with the Charlotte Hornets, it looked as though he was going to be a bust coming out of Kentucky, had a career year last year. He was a real dude down the stretch, and all of last year for the Hornets, he knocked down 40% of his three-point attempts. He's a young player. So too is Talen Horton-Tucker, who's been on this roster now for a couple of years. And you get him at around $10 million per year. When I thought on the open market there was going to be a team that maybe was willing to bet on his upside and give him $13 to $15 million. He's still only 20 years old. Kendrick Nunn, another young player. So you see the theme here, right? Kendrick Nunn is going to be able to come through with some spot starts, come off the bench. But when those veterans are resting, or when those veterans, if they do get hurt, which none of them have really shown a past history of getting hurt, except for Anthony Davis, who happens to be one of the young stars on this roster, you can balance it out with some of the young players. And I think Kendrick Nunn, very good young scorer for this roster.
Grade the Lakers free agency so far, A, B, C, D, or F. Get your votes in down in the comments. And you make a lot of good points, Chase. I think adding these younger guys later, Monk, THT, to this roster, Kendrick Nunn, this team's going to do some load management. There's no doubt about it. But when you have this amount of depth, when you go 10, 12, 13 deep, you can do, hey, LeBron, you and Wayne Ellington are going to sit tonight. Hey, Russ, you and Dwight are going to sit tonight. You don't have to do them all on the same night. You can stagger a little bit and still field a competitive team and beat most opponents. Like, the Lakers can trot out their B-plus lineup, and they're going to beat most teams because they're that deep, they're that loaded, they've got that many experienced players now. This is just the starting 5 on paper, and maybe Dwight Howard starts at the 5, maybe someone else starts at the 2, but you got Russell Westbrook, you've got Wayne Ellington, you've got LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Marc Gasol. You can mix and match with these different options, and that's just in your starting 5. THT, Nunn, I mentioned Dwight Howard, Monk. This team is very deep.
And I want to make
LA.
a point on this, too, because there has been some talk about Anthony Davis, who traditionally likes to play the 4, being more willing to play the 5. Mm-hmm. He has said, I will play the 5 and make a sacrifice. LeBron James has also said, I'll play more of the 4 if it means that I can save myself a little bit for the playoffs. So what does that do? Maybe it takes Marc Gasol out of the starting 5. Anthony Davis slides into the 5. LeBron goes to the 4. Maybe you put a Malik Monk into the starting lineup as well. So then Russell Westbrook, LeBron, and AD, if they are down low primarily, or at least driving to the cup, Wayne Ellington, Malik Monk, Kendrick Nunn, going to have plenty of space on the perimeter to knock down threes and get some really quality open looks. Melo coming off the bench too, and Ellington and Melo and Monk, for that matter, all 3 guys who this year capable of knocking down around 40% of their three-point attempts. So last week when they made the trade for Russ, we're saying this is a weird fit. It doesn't make sense. They don't have any shooters. They've reversed that conversation.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. More on the Lakers in a sec, but if you love the purple and gold, if you bleed, if you're a Lakers fan, just subscribe, youtube.com/LakersTV. I think Laker fans are pretty ready for opening night, Chase, and for good reason, because Rob Pelinka, GM LeBron, whoever you want to say is in charge, just pulled off a heist during NBA free agency, and they may not be done. That's why you should subscribe, because we'll have you guys up to date on everything happening in free agency, which you barely just hit on it too. It all started with trading for Russell Westbrook, which looks a whole lot better now that you've gotten shooters around him.
This is just a really intriguing team. And again, I want to double down on this. Everybody's saying that the Lakers are so injury prone. LeBron James has never been injury prone. Carmelo Anthony has never been injury prone. Part of the great reasons of the Russell Westbrook trade is he goes 110%. He's a dog. He goes hard. He too doesn't miss a lot of games. So I think these guys are going to be able to be consistently available. And I just like the influx and the combination of some youth talent as well as some older guys.
Out of all the moves they've made, what do you think your favorite one has been so far? If you had to pick one, and I know that's difficult.
Say that one more time.
If you had to pick one move LA's made so far, which one's your favorite? And
Malik Monk. It's Malik Monk.
For the minimum?
Yeah.
That's pretty damn good.
Because, look, Monk has so much modern-day value of being a shooter, but this guy's also a really good athlete, and this guy really started to gain confidence last year, and I think that's something that he was missing last year. And for him to be a confident player, for him to get a bunch of open looks in addition to Melo and Wayne Ellington, there are going to be some nights where they're going to be able to electrify you offensively, knock down a bunch of threes.
I like the ability of bringing THT back as well. Sure, it's 3 years, $30 million or whatever, but I thought he was gone after a lot of these moves after trading for Westbrook. But to bring him back, I said it at the trade deadline, Chase. If you're not going to trade for Kyle Lowry, you better re-sign Horton-Tucker, and they were able to do that despite making a ton of other moves. Also love the Kendrick Nunn signing. Hey, be greedy. You want more? Name a free agent you want the Lakers to sign before the season starts. There are still names out there. Danny Green, the rumors are circulating. Maybe you bring him back to L.A. Let us know who you would like to see the Lakers sign before next season.